Okay, so I have the honor to chair this last session of the day. So the first paper is called A Resilience Model for Borderline University Infrastructure in Wartime. And I think it is Mr. Kharchenko who is going to present it. So I give you the floor. Thank you.
Dobrze. Tak. Today, dear colleagues, I think you understand what does it mean last session, but I think the topic of our presentation is important and interesting for you as well. It's my honor to present a report related to resilience model for borderline university infrastructure in wartime. My colleagues from our department, Dr. Tetyana, Nikitina, and Professor Olga Morozova. I'm Vyacheslav Kharchenko. I'm head of Department of Computer System Network and Cybersecurity and the corresponding member of Department of Informatics, National Academy of Science of Ukraine. This topic concerning resilience and resilience system is not new for me, but application this problem for university as infrastructure is really new for me, for our team. Please, next slide. We will talk about the following. First of all, of course, short motivation and state-of-the-art analysis. We analyzed publication, project, and so on, and to better understand which objectives should be formulated. And the main result of our contribution will be dedicated to development of a framework for resilient university infrastructure and some metrics, some assessment enough simple to better understand how we can assess resilience of university infrastructure. We understand it is very important for our country, for Ukraine, but not only, because the wartime really create new challenges for our university. It's absolutely new and huge challenges, but part of these challenges are applicable for all university as well. Next slide, please. About motivation. First of all, we need understand that university infrastructure is a part of critical infrastructure of the country. Why? Because we can talk about safety critical, security critical system, but we can talk about education critical system. Because education now it's one of the main challenges and the trends. Hence, we need to talk about how can university work in condition of high-risk environments, cyber, physical impact, and so on. We understand that during the last years, the spectrum of threats for university infrastructure became more and now we need to think to explain, to discuss how we can continue our work in our education, research, development, and innovation activities in spite of the war, in spite of the aggressive cyber and physical environments. Of course, there are general understanding, general ideas that centralized system is less in point of view resilience than decentralized system. But what does it mean, the decentralization approach principle for university infrastructure? Please, next one. Very briefly about our state of the art part. We analyzed different publication related to general question on resilience of infrastructure. First of all, related to cybersecurity risks and cybersecurity threats, and projects related to security issues for critical infrastructure and for educational organization as well. But main focus of this publication is related to cybersecurity issues, first of all, related to IT infrastructure of university, more understandable for us. Please, next one. And we analyzed the standards, NIST, IEEE, ISO, and so on, related to security and safety of critical infrastructure. And we can conclude that infrastructure, university infrastructure, is more specific and more specific in condition of the war. One of the projects of our university with our colleagues from Riga University was finished and was dedicated to information infrastructure, information security of university as a complex system. Next, please. But now research objective is to develop a resilience university architecture adapted to high risk and crisis environments by analyzing of challenges, analyzing of hybrid threats, and analysis of best practice. List of research tasks is understandable. We need to analyze the main challenges, identify risks in physical and digital domains for university, because in this case we have physical information and combined risk and combined threats. And one of the objectives is to develop integrate global cooperation initiatives and apply strategy into unified resilience framework. We tried to develop general framework, general models for assessment of risks for university infrastructure. Next, please. Let's talk about what does it mean resilience in general, because there are 1,001 definition of resilience and resilience systems, beginning from psychology science and to technical science. We analyzed this definition in point of view more technical, more understandable as it's a list of works related to resilience and the resilient systems. And three main attributes, in our opinion, should be taken into account for resilient system. First one, such system have to change behavior considering changes of requirement to be adaptive to changing of cyber and physical environment parameters and to tolerate so-called non-specific failures. Hence, we need we can conclude that the resilient system and university infrastructure as well has to be self-evolvable. Hence, it means that such infrastructure should be changed in condition of changing of environments, in condition of requirements, in condition of failures in more wide sense. Next, please. A few very simple and as I think understandable schemes on university infrastructure, and as I said, we need to take into account a few impacts. First one is physical attacks. It's for us is most important and most hard to tolerate such kind of impacts. Next one is cyber attacks and combined disruptions, including energy system and so on, which can be caused by physical and cyber impact. Next one, please. This study reviewed cover a wide range of international standards, frameworks, and network addressing resilience in higher education and critical infrastructure, crossing of these two sense. And the field of different standards is very wide. And we tried to build a profile of requirements taking into account different standards, considering condition of the war as well. Next, please. If you talk about university infrastructure, university resilience infrastructure, we need to talk about a few layers, a few sites, such as physical layers, digital layers, and shared capabilities. Now, our university, in my university, National Aerospace University, we have protected zone where more than 100 or 200 students can study together. Hence, it one of the elements of physical component of protection and physical component of resilient infrastructure. Concerning digital layers, it's more understanding side, and very important to analyze negative synergy of physical and cyber impacts on this infrastructure. Next, please. Concerning IT infrastructure, concerning our data centers and network of servers. In this case, we have a few maybe more traditional methods to tolerate impact of physical and cyber threats and hybrid threats as well, such as physical security and access control, backup power, and monitoring and the prediction of the threats which can be in the next time. Next, please. Of course, without physical physical protection, we cannot defend our resources. Hence, this side of our resilience infrastructure is very important. As I said, we have protected auditories where we can carry on our lessons with students. We carry on conference, hackathons, and so on. But in Kharkiv, for example, for my department, we have just 20% which live now in Kharkiv, and about 50% of students which live in Ukraine, and about 30 maybe 20-30% of students which study in online modes from other countries. Next, please. Of course, we applied multi-cloud storage approach. It's in this case, we use diversity to minimize risk of common cause failure for this very important part of our IT infrastructure. And we use a few different providers and distributor server networks in our university to minimize risk of physical destroying of our infrastructure. Next, please. The same approach for communication resilience, application of different kind of networks technology. In this case, I mean diversity of communication between our buildings, between our faculties to provide the resilience of communication part of infrastructure in general. Next, please. A few words about more formal part of our presentation on risk-based model. This model is enough simple. It covers different issues of resilience of university infrastructure, such as electrical supply, satellite backup, and records resources, and so on. Next, please. We can demonstrate very understandable metrics how we can assess efficiency of efforts to provide resilience of university infrastructure based on expert assessment of level of resilience before and after implication of countermeasures for all parts of our infrastructure attributes. Next, please. It's a general table which illustrate some assessments for different kinds of infrastructure resilience, such as power, connectivity, data, learning, governance, and infrastructure in general as a physical part of the system. Next, please. And graphical illustration how you can assess efficiency of all countermeasures before and after application. In this case, we use well-known techniques ISO and NIST standards. Next, please. Additionally, we suggest scale of levels of degradation university infrastructure based on level of destroying or level of failures, which can be taken into account to assess fully operational level, minor degradation, partial service loss, critical disruption, several system failure, and offline when we cannot continue education process using online possibility. In the beginning of the war, 2022, during 2 months, maybe less, and we continue our education process using so-called asynchronous process, and colleagues from other university remembered this approach as well. Next, please. And final part of this assessment components of techniques. It's a general algorithm how we can control resilience process for university infrastructure. If we use resilience architecture activated measures and without such measures. Okay, next, please. And the final point of my presentation, discussion and conclusion. I think now we need understand that I talk about Ukrainian universities, that we will continue our work in the conditions of the war during uncertain time. Hence, we need, in this case, problem of providing university infrastructure resilience is non-stop problem, and we need to step by step improve infrastructure, taking into account different kind of attacks, threats, and so on. We proposed a very general framework how we can assess infrastructure, resilience of university infrastructure by decomposing of different kind of impacts and level of impact results and so on. We use risk and system states model as main tool to assess level of degradation, level of result of impact, and to assess efficiency of countermeasures. Next, please. And the next steps of this research and development and implementation activities are related to development, maybe more general, more concrete digital twin model as to better manage by resources and to better understand day by day changing of our infrastructure in normal time and after impact of physical and cyber intrusions. As mathematical, as more formal approach may be based on application so-called multi-state system, approach and controlled degradation, multi-level degradation process and multi-level recovery process. This topic becomes more and more important for our university, and I think Ukrainian university as well. What about universities of other countries? Part of these threats can be applied as well, more related to cyber attacks and so on. Next, please. And final point of my presentation illustrate one of the very simple example. It's lecture auditorium in our building where I participated and given lectures for our students after rocket hit, and it's we were very happy that this rocket did not explode in this building, just as mechanical equipment destroyed the roof and the part of equipment in our room. It's simple. After all such impacts, more 200 hits on territory of our university, where staff recovered this destroyed, and now we absolutely ready to continue our study, but students, I mean, in offline, but our students cannot participate in such mode completely. But unfortunately, bring back the lives of more than 60 our colleagues and graduates who that defending us, our university, Kharkiv, Ukraine, and I think not only from Russian aggression. Sorry for this, maybe more emotion slide, but we need remember about that. Thank you very much for your attention, and please, any questions and comments.
Yeah.
I have questions. The next question. Because we have not the same, the similar situation and everybody knows that Union and USA give a lot of money to Ukraine for supporting education process. A lot of money. For example, full salary for higher education and for Union. That's why my question: what do you think if because we have the similar situation in Ukraine and you Union give money, for example, for underground school, at the start, and spend a lot of money after planning bomb, nothing underground school and nothing money. Maybe we will have the same situation, unfortunately. We understand what about. That's why maybe you must use absolutely another model, invest and supporting higher education in Ukraine. For example, we use the campus system, temporary campus system in the west of Ukraine, And this system working only for relocation university, replacing university. And after finish of war, this university, the same academic society, academic union, and return to some party, so on. But this infrastructure, it's safe for local infrastructure. No spend money and transfer this money to zero. What do you think? My question on this.
That was the question. I think
I wasn't going out to answer this.
your question is very difficult. Yes, if I be Minister of Education, what I of course I think that we need to assess, to develop and assess money and not only money, which need to realize first and second stuff. Problem of relocation, you as a rector, you understand better than any other. Hence,
From Kherson.
yeah, I think we need combine two approach. What does it mean? Your strategy when we extend, increase territory of protected space. Question is for which? Yes, for students, for lecturers, for guests. And for my department, I try to realize relocation as well, but it is not simple problem. This problem should be.
Is the microphone on? It's switched on. There's a message in the chat, but people don't hear it. Switched off. Switch it on.
Okay, thank you.
Here you go.
Hence, we need to assess these two strategies to make decision, because many rectors don't like relocation because it mean maybe decreasing of space of university location. As I don't. Yeah. Yeah.
Put it to the copy break.
Okay.
Becomes a little bit too lengthy. Thank you very much. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, and the reason for stopping that was that I have my own question.
Oh, okay.
They have the mic?
Yes, sure.
Short one, then. Yeah, very short. Very short. And I'm not going to pose political or management or economical questions. I will be asking you to put the presentation on first. Yeah, and I'm going to ask a technical question. There was a measure for potential loss somewhere in the slides. And there was a coefficient which I would like to elaborate with you.
Concerning loss.
No, could you please go back to the slide with the potential loss? No. Earlier on. Yeah, here. And this is this delta, R power, starts with 0.6. Where did you take this 0?
Assessment. We in our university, as I said, we have 200 kids, and we can assess assess, offense of any of these keys.
So this coefficient is local for your university.
It is, of course. We have such statistics, and we can use the statistic to make more.
Thank you very much. It wasn't just fully clear from the presentation. This is it. Efficient.
Yeah, very efficient. So let's turn to the speaker. So we have now the last paper of this session, and I think the last paper of the day. The title is Model for the Implementation of Digital Services in the Business Process of Higher Education Institutions under Martial Law. I think it will be Stanislav Kalatskyi, which
Thank you.
I give you the floor.
Thank you very much. Is it working? Works before. Somebody now doesn't.
Oh, the battery is low. The battery is low. The battery is low. So, yeah, sure. So, I have this kind of bad luck of always presenting at the end. I don't know, like it's all my life. I do understand that everybody is tired, but I try to do as much as practical as it could be and as much as explained in details. So what we have learned through our Kherson State University under social leadership of Oleksandr Spivakowski, what the platform was and what the issues we face. Next slide, please. So we will be talking about the model of implementing the digital services for higher educational institutions under martial law. So once again, I'm pleased to continue to what Vyacheslav already mentioned. So we will be talking about the business continuity plans on how to make in the hardest possible situations that our university has become into to make it sustainable. So we will be talking about continuity and safety for our teachers and for our students. And as you see, the focus was like keeping the higher educational running during the wartime. And what is really important, I believe, here to mention, because Vyacheslav mentioned that universities is a critical infrastructure for the company, for the country. But what I'd like to add is that since I'm representing not only the educational infrastructure, but also a private infrastructure, there is a term in private infrastructure that there are things that generate profit, right? But it was back then. Right now, it's generating value. So what I believe that automatically switch off. Yeah, exactly. So I want to say that for us, it is not only a critical infrastructure, it's a value generating infrastructure. So all the educational institutions are generating value for the country and for the society in learning spheres. And we'll be talking about key challenges, actually. So the key challenges that the digital literacy and the constraints that we had are very limited, which actually modules the impact on the results of this kind of system. Next slide, please. And a few words about understanding. So it's not about the political situation. Yeah, I would like to emphasize the context of what we faced with. Oleksandr actually shared with me this very story of some of us here in the audience, that we have to acknowledge that some of our colleagues here in the audience were under occupation for close than a year. So this is really important. It's not about the only business continuity, but also on how to establish the access to all of the participants of the university. So about the Kherson State University, we actually faced the campus occupation, unfortunately. So that happened, and we had to act fast. And the other thing is that displacement of our people, displacement of our teachers and students was severe. So this is for the context that gives a solution what the difficulties were. Yeah, now it works. Yeah, that's what I mentioned about the bad luck, right? Yeah, I will try to do my best. What we had to solve first and foremost. So our campus occupied, unfortunately. Our people were displaced. So all of the relocation and the infrastructure was damaged. And the safety risks, as Vyacheslav mentioned in their previous presentation, was severe. So it has to solve few key things. So first, we pick teaching model that actually works in displacement conditions. The second is that we integrate minimal but complete stack, which includes LMS, SIS, and communications with SSO model. And the third one is that we adapt evaluation to be fair under the circumstances that we face and under this kind of instability. Next slide. So, as I mentioned, like the goal was to ensure the continuity and the quality on how we adapt our staff, our students, to new technical features that improve the cooperation between the people who are in the university. So this was not also important, but very time constrained in that sense. So what we had to implement. Next slide, please. So it actually appeared in one of the most reliable things that I saw through my educational experience that we call KSU 24. So it includes a lot of things that are valuable for our students and are valuable for our teachers within the university. And one of the most important things that it comes with the partnership. So as you see, we partnered with Google, we partnered with Amazon, we partnered with Microsoft, but this is also an important thing. As we learned the context, it was not done for just a brand recognition, right? So it was done for a practical reliability. And this is one of the key important things, that the lower latency paths, the identity federation, the rapid scale and ups and downs of all the systems that are implemented in the KSU 24 was one of the crucial things. Not for brand recognition, but it actually speed up and rapid our development in those kind of circumstances, because we have to act fast. Next slide, please. So what was the business criteria for our process? First and foremost, as we know that our people under occupation and some of them are being displaced, we have to follow the low device requirements. One of the key features here, because not a lot of people have this kind of stable internet solutions. They don't have probably the most modern technology at the moment. So the low device requirements was one of the key criteria for us. The next one, the free access, obviously through single sign-on application system, and the user community was how we establish not only the onboarding process of our people, but the continuity of usage of those procedures. The next one, without support from the university, those ideas could be a destination to fail. Yep. So another thing, the continuous support, which we will learn through the next slides, how we implemented this, is one of the important things. Obviously, all of those things can be combined into user experience topic. The next one, the access control and the version history. So since we were developing this platform pretty rapidly, we have to have an ability to roll back just in case if something doesn't work. So we do our things as we learn. And the next one, as one of the important things, is have to have a integration with a cloud storage. So all of those combines were one of the big one of the business criteria for our project, and that was a bottom line which we could not cross, because if we do, we are once again are aimed to fail, and that was not an option for us. Next slide, please. So let's talk about the quality assurance. Since we are talking about the product development, obviously the quality assurance requires to have some people who would assess what works, what doesn't, and how to change it. Once again, getting back to the context, we don't have this, unfortunately, we don't have this resource. So we prioritize our key principle here is that we value evidence over the guesswork, right? So there is no time for guessing. There is no opportunity to understand what works better, what was not, just by guessing what it is. This is one of the things that was implemented in the platform. So this is the built-in reporting for educational purposes quality, what we established throughout the platform. There are a set of criteria that assess and monitor through the platform of our users constantly. We choose locations, we choose attendance. Those kind of things, those kind of attributes were downloaded to our database to understand what works. Another thing, like faculty ranking and course feedback, was this kind of ping-pong stuff that comes back to us to understand what works better. The other things like BCP protocols and all the safety protocols that we have, and the academy integrity was also a crucial thing. So getting back to the idea of the quality assurance, our users, our people within the university was those kind of identities that helped us to develop the built-in reporting system to prioritize evidence over the guesswork. Next slide, please. The next one. So I have this background in the commercial companies that works with the data warehouse, data warehousing and the data compliance and all that kind of stuff. And I do know exactly how it is important to have a reliable data to answer some kind of questions or to react as quickly as possible on the upcoming matters. So this is just a screenshot of how it represents the system works. So as you see, the reports are based on VLE database, which is basically pandas powered sections. And we have numerous cases that would help us to resolve some kind of simple tasks by identifying criteria or attributes and checking the data that we can pull easily to resolve any upcoming questions. So one of the features of the KSU24 is that we have this kind of custom reports administration that helps to manage and mitigate all of the upcoming things that are being developed right now as we speak. Next slide, please. The next one. So any idea are designed to fail unless we hear the people who can't precisely go through an onboarding process. We have to understand that we have people of different ages in the university. We have different reliance or understanding the digitalization of the systems all around us. And that's why we actually have to find. Okay, thank you very much. We actually have to have the digitalization assistant. So this is the person that actually connects our users. Yeah, talking about bad luck, right? Exactly. What? No. Yeah, I'm trying my best. Thank you for your support. So this is really important for me. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so this is kind of things that connects our users and what we call a human bridge with between technical infrastructure and teaching infrastructure. So we have people in the university that help to adapt the system and proceed with the onboarding process, not only for new users of our platform, but also the established users, because a lot of questions actually appear during the educational process. Let's continue. Let's go to the next slide, please. The next one is the feedback system. As I mentioned, it's not only a question about the quality assurance of our platform. It's also, as it is really modern to call, the user learning system based on the feedback. So there should be a continuous feedback. And what we implemented in the pulse surveys, right? So every time we finish the lecture, every time we finish the class, there is a pulse survey for our people to understand few key features. One of them is, was the lecture clear enough? Was it engaging enough? Was the atmosphere so-called forcing you to learn more and to attend those kind of classes? So, and as we collect this feedback, getting back to our previous slide, we have the system that allows us constantly to pull based on Pandas database to pull out those information. So we're talking about the continuous implementation of those collected feedbacks. Those feedbacks are not there to lie. Those feedbacks are there to implement and to adapt our strategy of learning. Next slide, please. The next one. You can't say that every system works nowadays without AI, right? So we had to implement this, and in this kind of case, AI is actually provides a personalized support on a high level for students and faculties. So the AI in our system in KSU24 was not aimed to resolve any kind of case. It has to be a connecting bridge between our digitalization assistant